What you have to do in the world is different. How you do it is different. When you talk about pressure, you're not talking about what to do and what not to do, you're talking about how of life. If running a design school is becoming a big pressure, living as a whatever, a business person is becoming a pressure, don't do it, just walk the beach. But there also pressure, isn't it? So the pressure is not because of the job or the position that you've taken. Pressure and stress is happening because you do not know how to conduct your body, how to conduct your mind and how to conduct your emotions. This human mechanism, this is the most sophisticated gadget on the planet. Have you read the user's manual? That's the whole problem. If you deal with that, outside situations are a play. To what extent can you play? Maybe you cannot play like me, but you will play to the best of your capability and that's fine. You don't have to play like somebody else, but you must play to the best of your capability. If that doesn't get explode, when you're pressured, it will not get explode. When you're pressured, when you're stressed, you will not live to your full capability. Even the silly things cannot be done when you're under pressure. If you're in a certain level of calmness and sweetness within you, your body and your intelligence will work at its best. So, this is about playing this life out. This is not about proving something to somebody. It is just that if you want to succeed, it's only success that ultimately everybody around you will respect, okay? If you want to succeed, you must learn to harness your physical body and your mind the fullest possible way. So only two things. And of course, harnessing the external situations, but that harnessing the external situations essentially depend upon how well you can harness your own intelligence and your body. Now when you're creating pressure, on one level what it means is, your intelligence has turned against you. It's not working for you, it is working against you. Nobody has to cause misery to you, you're in self-help.
So you're saying that happiness can only come when you achieve success and not
No,
by being
no,
insignificant
I didn't say
or
anything
unknown
like that. I'm saying only if you're happy, your body and mind will function at their best. If they function at their best, depending upon your individual competence and the situations around us, how they play out. Your success is not just about your competence, there's also a situation. How all these things come together, that will lead to a certain level of success. So I'm saying the way you are is the first step, what you do is the next step. But everybody is trying to fix it the other way around and it'll never work.
How can you avoid angry?
How can you avoid anger? See, if you're driving in the Coimbatore streets, you have to avoid the medians which are placed in odd places. You have to avoid bad drivers. You have to avoid drunken men crossing the street, children crossing the street, all kinds of things. But when you're driving in Coimbatore street, do you have to avoid the moon? I'm asking you, do you have to avoid the moon? No, because the moon is not on the street, isn't it? So similarly, right now are you angry? No? Then why should you avoid it? There's no need to avoid it. It is just that you think anger is an entity. Anger is not an entity. You become angry. You become angry. Anger is not sitting somewhere and you go hit it. There is no such thing. You become angry. When you become angry, is it pleasant for you or unpleasant for you? unpleasant for you. Unpleasant for others for sure, unpleasant for yourself also. Today, medical science proves to you, when you're angry, you're actually poisoning your system, you know. We have always known this, but today chemical tests clearly show you that you're actually poisoning your system, generating poison in the system by being angry. So, why would you want to poison yourself? It is not a conscious act. You're poisoning yourself, you're causing unpleasantness to yourself only because your mind is not taking instructions from you, isn't it? It is not taking instructions from you. If it was taking instructions from you, you would have said blissfulness, isn't it? You wouldn't say anger. But now when you want to be peaceful, it is getting angry because it is not taking instructions from you. So if your mind is not taking instructions from you, you have to pay a little more attention to it. Why is it not taking instructions from you? If you understand this, you don't have to avoid anger, because anger is not sitting there and getting at you. You are becoming angry, you are becoming unhappy, you are becoming miserable. These things are happening to you essentially because you have not done anything to take your faculties under your control. It is happening accidentally, just by chance. If outside situations are good, you are also good. If outside situations are bad, you're also bad. That is not how human life should be. Human life should be like this. If I am good, everything around me becomes good. This should be the reality, isn't it? Right now, if things around me are whichever way, I will become that way. No. Human consciousness should create situations. Right now, situations are creating human consciousness. That's not the right way to shape human life. If you are capable of causing depression to yourself, I'm saying this not without any concern for your illness or not due to lack of compassion, because that is the nature of what's happening to you. If you're causing depression to yourself, you are able to generate substantial amount of intense emotions and thoughts, but in the wrong direction. If you don't have very strong emotions, very intense thoughts about something, you cannot get depressed. It is just that you are generating thoughts and emotion which work against you, not for you. So you are strong enough to cause depression to yourself because for you to cause a mental illness for yourself, unless you're pathologically ill, which is just a small number of people, rest are all self-created. Most of them are self-created. A few are pathologically ill, they cannot help it. It just comes from within because of genetic and other factors. Almost everybody here, if we train them towards a certain kind of thought process and emotion and push them a little bit with the outside situations, almost everybody will go lose their mental balance. They will become clinically ill. They can be driven to madness, I'm saying, because the line between sanity and insanity is very thin. People keep pushing it. You get angry, you're pushing the line. It's a thin line. In fact, when you get angry, you know you're pushing the line. That's why the expression, I was mad at somebody. You're not mad at somebody, you're just going mad. You cannot be mad at somebody. You're just pushing your sanity, the boundaries of sanity and moving into insanity for a certain period of time and coming back. You do one thing every day, you try this. 10 minutes a day, try intense anger on somebody. What? You will see in 3 months' time, you will be clinically there. Yes. Just try it if you want. Because if you keep pushing the line, you go mad and you come back, you go mad and you come back, one day you're not able to come back, that's all. One day you're not able to turn back, then you're clinically ill. You must understand, even if you got angry for a moment, you're already ill. Maybe you don't get the certificate of diagnosis. They don't slap a certificate on you that you're gone, but you are going, isn't it? You think it's your right to throw tantrums, you think it's your right to get angry with people, you think it's your privilege to be depressed so that you'll get attention from somebody. You keep playing this, one day you will not be able to turn back. Keep crossing the line every day, one day you will see you cannot cross back. That day, you need a doctor. Till then, everybody needed a respite from you, but the day you can't cross back, they get the respite because now they can catch you and give you to a doctor. Otherwise, you're temporarily going mad every day, many times a day. They cannot even send you to an asylum, they have to bear with you, your family, your friends, your people around you. If you get at least truly clinically ill, we can hand you over. There's one temple in Tamil Nadu, you know, where they chain you and keep you. Where there is no hospital, no psychological for ailments, there's no hospital, there is a temple that somebody created which is supposed to push people back into sanity. So, families just take them and leave them there, they're shackled and left in the temple. You give them some money, they'll feed you, and you're just there like an animal, tied up. I think if hospitals were run like this, a lot of people wouldn't go crazy. They would maintain their sanity. Right now it's too deluxe. If you make hospital extremely comfortable, it'll become an incentive to become sick. And you have incentives in your life to become ill, right from your childhood. You got the maximum attention only when you fell ill. When you are happy, they screamed at you. When you squealed in joy, they screamed back at you, adults. You… then boo-boo, 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 boo-boo. When you are a child, physical illness is good because you'll get attention from your mother and father and everybody around you, and you don't have to go to school on that day. So you learn the art of falling physically ill. But once you get married, you learn the art of becoming mentally ill. Because if you want to get attention, you go sit in a corner.
Afternoon, sir. Can you tell me that the work pressures are going on and because of that stress is created? So that one is what you do about the stress, second is how do you differentiate and leave the stress of that work pressure in the office and go back home and forget about it?
Stress. You know, a few years ago or many years ago, when I first went to United States, wherever I went, people were talking about stress management. I couldn't understand this, because in my understanding, we manage things which are precious to us, which are valuable to us. You want to manage your family, your wealth, your business, your organizations. But why would anybody want to manage stress? This is something that I couldn't understand. It took me a while to understand that these people have assumed that stress is a part of their life. Stress is not a part of your life. Stress is not because of the work that you're doing. Stress is just your inability to manage your body, your mind, your emotions and your energies. If your mind took instructions from you, would you keep it stressful or blissful? What's your choice? What's your choice? If your mind took instructions from you, would you keep it stressful or blissful? Blissful. For yourself, definitely it's blissfulness. What you want for your neighbor may be debatable, but what you want for yourself is definitely highest level of pleasantness, isn't it? So why is it when you're seeking pleasantness, your mind is creating unpleasantness? Stress means unpleasantness. Why is your mind creating unpleasantness for you? Your mind is supposed to be working for you, not against you. So if it is working against you, we haven't figured something about this mind, isn't it? Something very fundamental we have misunderstood about the nature of the mind, how it functions and what we can do about it. So, stress is not because of the nature of your work, because you go and ask a chaparasi, he's stressful. You ask the Prime Minister, he's stressful, he looks stressful. In between, everybody is stressful. So which job is not stressful? It is not the job which is stressful, it is you who is stressful. Job is never stressful, isn't it? It is just that your mind is not taking instructions from you. So we need to read the instruction manual. We've done something fundamentally wrong as to how to handle this human mechanism. It's a very complex technology. We need to address it with little more attention.
Don't worry about your work, you give it up. What do you want? You want a roof? I'll give you. You want food every day? I'll give you. All you have to do is just sit in one place and be blissful. I will feed you for the rest of your life. Can you do? No, you want to mess up something every day. People say they're only working for a living. I said, don't worry, I'll give you shelter, I'll give you food every day, no problem. All you have to do is, I want to see tears of blissfulness every day. That's all the requirement. You don't have to do any work, you don't have to serve me, you don't have to produce anything, nothing. Just sit here blissfully, we'll feed you, we'll worship you. No. So the problem is not in your work, the problem is not in your life, the problem is not in the world that you live, the problem is just that you have not done the necessary things for this one to flow through this effortlessly, beautifully. The necessary work has not been done and we are just hoping it'll happen by accident. It doesn't happen by accident. Lot of people in the world think United States of America is heaven. But people who live here don't think so at all. Isn't it so? Isn't it? A lot of people in the world are dying to get an entry into the country. If you open up the southern borders, 10 million people will enter tomorrow morning because they think this is heaven. But you are not experiencing it that way, isn't it? You are not experiencing this as heaven because hell and heaven is not a geographical place. Hell and heaven is what you make out of yourself, isn't it? Too much talk about heaven has been going on because there are too many people who made a hell out of themselves. If you had made a heaven out of yourself, would you talk about going to heaven? If you sit here and you're feeling ecstatic right now, would you aspire to go to heaven, I'm asking? Once it happened, early 20th century, an Orthodox Greek church, a bishop from that church. You know, Orthodox Greeks have their own separate church, they have their own pope who lives in Turkey, you know this? So a bishop from this order had heard so much about Indian mysticism and he wanted to go to India, but he never got around to make it because he had to serve the cloth that he wore. And after 60 years of age, when he is semi-retired, he got the opportunity and went to India. So he came to South India, near where we are, and he wanted to meet a mystic, a yogi. So somebody said, go up this mountain, near a cave, there is a yogi sitting, you can go. So our man went, plodded up the mountain, halfway up and went. In front of a cave, an old man with a gentle smile upon his face was just sitting with his eyes closed. So the bishop went and prostrated. He cannot do it, he is not made for that. But they had told him, if you go to India, you have to crawl. He prostrated like this and with all his four limbs he got up. The yogi looked at him with amusement. Obviously, he has never prostrated anywhere before. And he smiled. Then the bishop said, I am like this, I am a bishop. I have served in the church for so long, but I have a few questions, can you answer? The yogi smiled and said, yes, please, whatever the question. Then the bishop asked, what is life? At the age of 60. What is life? So the yogi closed his eyes, became very blissful and said, life is like the fragrance of a jasmine on the spring breeze. And tears of blissfulness flowed out of his eyes as he was saying this. Then the bishop said, no, no, no. Our Pope has told us life is like a thorn and we must renounce it. And even symbolically, Jesus himself wore a crown of thorns. So, how come you say this? Our Pope says otherwise. The yogi looked at him, smiled and said, well, that's his life. So, what you make out of it is not because of where you are, what you are, it is just what you make out of it, isn't it? Yes. So, have you created the necessary mechanism? Have you created the necessary system? Have you created the necessary ingredients within you to make this like the fragrance of jasmine on a spring breeze and not a thorn? If it's a thorn, we must pluck the damn thing out, isn't it? Isn't it so?
Yes.
If you create any tension, either in the body or in the mind, you don't need another enemy in your life. You will just slowly work against yourself, not just in terms of physical health, in many different ways, you understand? You will turn your own life energies against you. Today we know very clearly that people who are going through excessive tensions definitely are inviting ailments, there's no question about it. Medically it's a proven fact, isn't it? But much more than that is happening. You are not only inviting health or ill health situations, you are inviting a whole host of problems in the world. Because how or in what way you reverberate, accordingly you draw those type of situations towards yourself, those kind of people towards yourself, those kind of ultimate results to your own life. So, what we are talking about is not just about beating the stress, not talking about just being little more peaceful. If you want to create your life the way you want it, you need to take charge of certain fundamentals. Otherwise, you're just working your own energies against yourself. And this is not… when I said it's a formidable enemy, because the very source of creation is here. It's better, it's best that the source of creation is working for you, not against you, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. This… such a powerful thing, it must be always working for you. If it works against you, you're finished. Nobody can save you, I'm telling you. If the very source of creation within you begins to work against you, nothing in this world is going to save you. So it's very, very important. It is not just about being little free from stress, being little more peaceful, little more happy, it's not about that. To create your life the way you want it, it's very important that first of all the body, then the mind, then the energies, these things are attended to with utmost care. This is as important as you going out and making money, creating your family, doing whatever, because all those things you may have and still you may be miserable, not only for yourself, you may be causing much misery to everybody around you. Not because you are good or bad, simply because you're ignorant of life. People are causing pain to each other not because they're good or bad, they're just ignorant of the ways of life, isn't it? When whatever those people started nailing this man, it seems he said they know not what they're doing. All he's saying is ignorance is the only problem, isn't it? Not because they're evil, not because they're some devil's agents. Ignorance is the only problem. They know not what they're doing, that's the only problem, isn't it?